Videotapes. We've made over 1 million videos now in 6 languages. They're not copyrighted. They're not copyrighted. All right, welcome to, I think it's session 8, isn't it, of CSE 103. This will be our politically incorrect sessions on the rise of communism, socialism, Marxism, Nazism because of the evolution theory. We've got several things, too much to discuss tonight than we'll ever get through. Tonight we're going to start talking about how evolution is the foundation philosophy. He did not know, but I have been told by reliable sources that 3 number 14 wires is sufficient to handle the charge, the voltage, to have electromagnetic burst, EMF, electromagnetic, no, there's another name for it. What is it? EMP. Pulse, okay. Atomic bombs do this. If an atomic bomb goes off overhead, it produces electromagnetic pulse that will basically destroy computers within a certain effective radius. Just blow their brains out, okay. Almost all cars built after 1982 are electronic ignition, and a good EMP will shut them down. There's been research, and I've heard it's in effect now, it's available now, where you can simply have these, like a radar gun, but you aim it at a car, and it will shut off electronic ignition. For catching speeding thieves will be the, speeders will be the excuse, but all they got to do is apply that same technology to those who are running from the New World Order. Shut down traffic, snarl traffic. Over to the side, we've got them all over Pensacola, these, lines in the highway. Over to the side, you'll see on Interstate 10 there are several of them. And they're positioned in such a way that basically you don't think you could get around them. You got to go over it. And my understanding is they're capable of shutting off electronic ignition cars. Now, one solution to this is take out your electronic ignition distributor and put in the old-fashioned distributor with points and plugs. And it's simple wiring. And now you have you don't get as good a gas mileage, maybe not quite the horsepower, but it'll keep running, because it's not affected by the EMP. All over the United States, you see cameras going up. This is a file. The John Birch Society, they're now calling it General Birch something or other, because the John Birch Society's got kind of a bad, because of all the media slurs, that name kind of comes across bad. I'm not a member of the John Birch Society. I'm not against it at all. Okay, in fact, I'm for it. But just so folks know, I'm not a member. John Birch was in China when the communists took over, and he was murdered by the Chinese communists. So to fight communism worldwide, the John Birch Society was started in his honor. And they still have active groups all across the United States. Les Roberts, our friend here in Pensacola, is a member of the John Birch Society and is just loaded with information on what's going on with communism, and they're still trying to get a one-world government. And if you think the Berlin Wall came down because communism was defeated, boy, have you been duped. The Berlin Wall came down because they didn't need it anymore, because there's just as much communism on the other side. Don't need that wall anymore. Get at the website cuttingedge.org for lots more information on this topic. There's a book called The Protocols of Zion. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this, and Eric, just because I mentioned this, you're going to probably take some flack, because the Jews will get real upset about this. Apparently what happened, this is the Hovind theory, okay? Some of the rich guys in the world who want to control the world created a plan of how to gain control of the world. They wanted to blame it on the Jews. So they wrote the book and called it Protocols of Zion for Jews. Some of the leaders of the New World Order are Jewish, okay, but I don't think all of them are, to my knowledge. But the purpose was to write this book to tell everybody what's going to happen, and at the same time, protect yourself in case this book gets discovered by the wrong people. And sure enough, the wrong people have it. I have it. I'm definitely one of the wrong people. Never mind. So if we can get you a copy of the Protocols of Zion, I've got it in my computer right here. I could call it up. It's like 80 pages or something. So if we just simply print, or you can get it at any library, I think. If our printing cost would be, well, Becky, you could run copies if somebody wants it. Let's sell it for $5. Huh? I can't hear you. $8. Okay, that would cover our running all the pages, 80 pages, stapling them together. $8 if you want one of those. Or if you can get it at your library if you want. But Here's a quote from the Protocols of Zion. Confirmation of Rathenau's statement came 20 years later in 1931 when, whatever this guy's name is, a prominent member of the Jewish Alliance Israelite Universelle wrote in his Paris, La Capitale des Religions, the meaning of the history of the last century is that 300 Jewish financiers, all masters of lodges, rule the world. Interesting. He's claiming here that 300 Jewish financiers that are masters of lodges, Masonic lodge, stuff like that, are the ones who really rule the world. There's a book called The Committee of 300. As you read the book, you'll say, wow, this is what's going on, huh? These are the guys who want to control the world, and here's how they're going to do it. It's all spelled out right here. This, did I put in the front cover where to get it? Dr. Lauren Coleman wrote the book. Let's see, ocular enhancers again. You can write to WIR 2533 North Carson Street, Suite J-118, Carson City, Nevada, 89706. Becky, make a note, if you would, for me to put that address on this 5A slide 343. Okay, and it's off the back of the book. I'll put that on here so folks at home can watch that. If you want to get more about the Committee of 300, these are probably the ones who really ultimately make the decisions. That would trickle down to other groups that are involved in this, like the Council of Foreign Relations, CFR. If you want to get more on the Council of Foreign Relations or some of those, you might want to get any of the books by Des Griffin. He's really good on this topic also. We sell this one, The Fourth Reich of the Rich, in our bookstore. You can get it, but he's written lots of other books like Descent into Slavery, Des Griffin. I think he's written 4. Very knowledgeable on the topic of the New World Order if you want to get into that. So what they do, what the bad guys do, they create a crisis so that people will come along and ask the government, please help us, please do this for us. So they created the Depression, 1929, stock market crash, so that people would come ask the government, would you please take care of us, feed us? The government said, sure, sure, here, take this number. Well, idiot, they beat you, is what happened, okay? Oklahoma City bombing. Get the website, harvest-trust.org, or talk to Ben Parton. Now, Ben Parton, it was an explosives expert. I think he was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. He did a great videotape with Gary Fry. There's Ben Parton's phone number right here. Ben Parton did a tape with Gary Fry on TV. Gary Fry's in North Carolina. You think you met him, didn't you? Okay. He said, look, folks, I'm an explosives expert. A truck bomb did not blow up the Oklahoma City building. Absolutely no possible way. That building was blown up from inside, probably C4 explosives wrapped around the pillars. Because an explosion in the truck is not going to knock all these pillars out. But there is still today news media spin going on trying to convince the people that the truck bomb did it. Watch the footage we have. I think you've seen this, Eric, haven't you, of right after this happened. They're talking about, now today they talk about this huge Ryder truck full of fertilizer that exploded and blew a big crater in the ground. Watch the footage. They're walking right up to the building. There's no crater in the ground. There never was.
No nitrous oxide either. No residue of nitrates. There would have been poison gas from the explosion that knocked out people.
And the people across the street, sitting in the restaurant, broke a few windows. Why didn't it blow the wall out of that building? And pieces of the Muir building landed across the street. It blew out. It didn't blow in. You don't need to be a genius to figure it out, okay? But you tell the lie long enough, the people believe it. And the poor victims of the Oklahoma City bombing are thinking, this Timothy McVeigh did it and that guy ought to be hung, Well, he might have been a patsy involved in this, but he didn't blow that building up. Okay, he's taking the blame for it. But that is not what happened. Prisons. We don't need prisons. It's the dumbest thing you can do is pay $100,000 a year to keep some guy locked up. For certain crimes, he should be executed. For other crimes, he should pay back fourfold like the Bible says. That would stop 90-some% of the crime right there.